La réussite de ces universités, c'est un événement en soi, mais c'est aussi la poursuite d'une dynamique. Comme vous, je la vois à l'œuvre depuis quelques années déjà, mais je la sens accélérée. Nous avons continué en 2013, année pourtant sans élection, un très sérieux travail de fond, et nous avons connu depuis le début de l'année beaucoup de succès. Je ne parle pas des sondages qui montrent, bien entendu, une adhésion croissante à nos idées et nous laissent espérer de grandes réussites aux élections à venir. Toujours, nous progressons, toujours, nous montons. Bien sûr, nous nous satisfaisons des bons chiffres que nous prenons comme des encouragements. Mais je veux surtout parler de nos réussites concrètes, celles qui ont jalonné les derniers mois et qui ont renforcé la place du Front National. Je pense bien sûr aux élections partielles. L'élection de l'Oise d'abord, que notre candidate Florence Italiani a failli remporter. Cette élection elle a fait date parce qu'elle a montré que nous avons maintenant des capacités de progression et de rassemblement qui surpassent toutes les prévisions. Et je pense aussi à l'élection de Villeneuve-sur-Lot, où Étienne Bousquet-Cassagne a plus que fait trembler l'UMPS. Alors même que tous les partis du système s'étaient ligués contre sa candidature, il a lui aussi fait exploser les compteurs. Ces deux partiels sont une extraordinaire motivation pour nous, le camp des patriotes. Elles montrent que le soi-disant Front républicain est mort, que la funeste bipolarisation de la vie politique est enterrée et surtout que les électeurs de plus en plus adhèrent à nos idées, que le vote Front National, moins encore que les autres, n'est un vote protestataire, mais au contraire, qu'il est un vote positif, d'adhésion, assumé, plein d'espoir. Notre succès en cette année 2013 peut être le plus grand. C'est d'avoir approfondi notre présence dans tous les débats politiques, dans les débats entre Français, d'être incontournable, puisque vous le voyez bien, quel que soit le sujet abordé, nous sommes au centre des discussions. À tel point que le Parti socialiste, toujours bien inspiré par l'irremplaçable Harlem Désir, le pauvre, a choisi de consacrer son université d'été non pas au chômage, non pas à la...
You are being called the Donald Trump of France. How do you feel about that? Do you think you are the Donald Trump of France?
La réalité, c'est que j'ai été la seule responsable politique.
The reality is that I was the only politician that definitively supported the defeat of Hillary Clinton, and to consider that Donald Trump's policies, subjects that concerned my country, were positive. The refusal of wild globalization, the refusal of massive immigration, the refusal of the intrusion into other countries that in reality contributed to the rise of fundamentalist Islamists and that let them become more powerful. Also, the refusal of these free trade treaties, like the one that Hillary Clinton was ready to sign, between the US and the European Union, that would be completely devastating for the French economy. It's true that the election of Donald Trump is a massive return to the people. It's a return of the nation in a world in which we considered that the nation was a thing to move past. Unquestionably, we had some points in common with Donald Trump, because we hope for independence for our country, a return of power, and a calming of relations around the world.
When Donald Trump won, the French establishment woke up, seemed frightened, and said, "Wow, Marine Le Pen can win in France." Do you think Donald Trump's win portends good things for you?
Je pense surtout que les élites ont trop vécu.
I think that the elites have lived too long among themselves. We are in a world where globalization, which is an ideology, has forgotten and put aside the people's interests, aspirations, and dreams. They have acted like carnivores who use the world to enrich only themselves. And whether it's the election of Donald Trump or Brexit, the elites have realized that the people have stopped listening to them, that the people want to determine their futures and, in a perfectly democratic framework, regain control of their destiny, and that panics them. because they are losing the power that they had given themselves. So yes, in these conditions, if the French people too wish to regain their independence, wish to regain control of their country, and wish to reinforce the elements of security, the borders, the rule of law, economic patriotism, then I will be elected president.
The shorthand to describe your party in the United States is frequently anti-Semitic, anti-Muslim. What do you say to people who use that description for the National Front?
La description qui a été faite du Front National aux États-Unis.
The description that has been used for the National Front in the United States is exactly the description that was used for the supporters of Donald Trump in France. Each is as false as the other. It's a way for the system to discredit those who refuse to play by the rules of the system. We cannot let ourselves be infantilized. We cannot let ourselves be stereotyped. And I think that many Americans today realize that the deplorable image that has been made of the National Front in the United States was as insulting and as misleading as the deplorable image that was made of Donald Trump and his supporters in France.
Weeks to go till polling day, the two frontrunners in France's presidential election were abroad today, trying to establish their credentials as world leaders. In Beirut, a visit by the woman leading France's presidential polls, Marine Le Pen, the far-right leader, set off a small protest and a large controversy. Prior to meeting with the Lebanese religious leader, the Grand Mufti, his spokesman says Le Pen was told that she would have to wear a headscarf. She refused to do so. The spokesman called it inappropriate behavior. As she stormed out of Lebanon's Sunni authority, the Dar al-Fatwa, she said she'd not been asked to cover herself on an earlier trip to Cairo when she'd met the Al-Azhar Mosque's imam.
Grand Mufti aides could have just told me, Madame, the condition sine qua non is the veil. I had indicated earlier that I wouldn't wear it. The aides of the Grand Mufti were free at that point to tell me that this meeting wouldn't happen.
A diplomatic incident that has been described by her critics back in France as blatant electioneering. In a country where the headscarf has been a central issue for more than a decade, Marine Le Pen is opposed to public religious symbols. Less controversial was Emmanuel Macron's visit to Downing Street. After his meeting with the British Prime Minister, the centrist candidate, who's now only second to Marine Le Pen, answered those critics who point out that he has yet to say precisely what he actually stands for.
Would you agree the momentum is currently with her?
Sure, but it will come into coming weeks. I will disclose my program next week in France, and I will explain how my program is a program to make France succeed in this new world, in this new environment, with innovation, with training program, with helping middle classes to succeed.
After leaving Downing Street, Emmanuel Macron spoke to London's substantial French electorate, voters from both left and right that he hopes will be seduced